Listen, guys, we got a lot of over-the-top, just overpowered feeling ultimates in Marvel Rivals, which I like. It kind of brings the flavor to the game, makes it feel fun. Some are just damn terrifying, right? Whereas others, they kind of suck. So today, guys, I'll be taking on the task of ranking every single ultimate from best to worst. Oh, and before I forget, I opened up with some comments on the last tier list about it being a war zone in the comments, and my God, did you guys do me proud. You guys over-delivered, some might say. I like it. But while you're there, duking it out, be sure to subscribe. 90% of you guys have not done so. Let's jump in. All right, as always, we are starting from A to Z. We begin with Adam and his revival. One of the main reasons to pick Adam, I mean, this is an ability that brings your whole freaking team back from the dead. I mean, what else could you want outside of, your team being dead for it to work? But this is a match-swinging ult that can completely win games or lose them if done wrong. And it's the main appeal to playing Adam Warlock for the most part. Obviously, there's some other characters that heal a little bit better. And so I think this is probably up there towards the best of ultimates. We started with A. It happened to be one of the best. I'm tempted to put it at the top of A instead of S, but I think this is towards the bottom of S, but one of the best. All right, next up is Black Panther in his Bast Descent. And, yeah, this is just not a great ult. When I hear this, tremble before, I'm not trembling, and I'm not really worried. It does help him kind of combo his kit, and a good Black Panther is obviously good enough to make some crazy things happen with this. But in the large comparison to all the other ultimates, this is towards the bottom. I think if this is not D, it's probably F. This is going towards the bottom. I get what you can do with it, and they could probably just put this as like a whole nother ability in his kit, and nobody would bat an eye. It's amongst the lower ones in the game, and F tier for him. Black Widow and the Electroplasma Explosion. I have barely seen this thing, considering nobody is really playing this hero, but when they do play it, I just step out of the goo. I mean, like, I just feel like if they are a good enough Black Widow, I'm dead, and they don't even need to use this. And if they do use it, it's just not that great. I've seen it once or twice in a match if they have a Hawkeye and a Black Widow, and then they use it on us, and they can just pick us all off. This is about as easy of a layup as you get for an F tier. I mean, just right into the basket of garbage, dumpster, fire, and not much more to be said. On to the next. All right, next up is Cap. Steve Rogers, Freedom Charge. I don't know, guys. This one just doesn't seem that great to me. I mean, we get the speed boost. It heals and gives bonus health to him, to us. Great. The problem is Captain America just doesn't have a huge shield, right? So, like, you're not, like, all, like, gun-ho charging in. Usually, I see this being used by Captain Americas by themselves, like, to survive longer or do something for themselves for the team. Not a lot of team coordination on it, personally, from what I've witnessed through all my ring play, but it's not, like, the worst ability. You get a movement boost. You do get some health. I'm going to give it like D tier. I think that's the best I could give it. It feels about right. Next up, we got Cloak and Dagger, and I like to call it like the goo or whatever it is that they do. But Eternal Bond, they obviously dash to different directions, and you're pretty much not invincible, but you get a lot of healing while standing in it. It's incredibly powerful on a point or on an objective or just to kind of push forward with it. And they seem to be getting it pretty fast, at least from my experience. This is definitely not bad. I mean, when you're comparing it to the other supports, it's not the best one in the game, but it for sure is not an awful ultimate by any means. Even though I love them as a character and rank them pretty high in their normal play, as an ultimate, this feels like a B tier ultimate to me, especially in regards to the other supports and like what they offer. And also, I kind of wish it was more obviously there. Like, sometimes I don't even know they ult. I mean, I know they shout out whatever, but I'm just like, I'm busy fighting stuff, and then I'm like, oh, cool, I'm getting healed. Doctor Strange, Eye of Agamotto. It's great, right? Feels like it takes forever to cast when you're playing as him, but man, that AoE stun he's one of the two heroes, which if you haven't seen the video, I talked about the best combos to team up and put these abilities together. Go check that out. But he's one of the two setup ultimates in the game to get big, giant team wipes, right? Him and Groot, which we'll talk about in a moment. Eye of Agamotto is clutch. You can just straight up win points, win matches, win the push, and is one of the best in the game. It's tempting to put this at S tier, but I'm going to put it right under that. I think it's at A tier and the top of A for that matter. Maybe not quite S, not the best of the best. It's obviously one of the better like team coordination ultimates. It is pretty easy to kill him or just stop, so there is that. But yeah, towards the top. Oh shoot, Groot's next to even know it. Well, there you go. I pretty much spoke on it. He's a team up setup kind of hero, and I am Groot. is massive to completely wipe out the opponent. This and Moon Knight together is completely cracked, and just being able to, pull everyone into one spot, it's like 3.5 seconds, which feels like an eternity in Marvel Rivals. It feels a little bit slow charging, but man, this is more impactful than people give it credit for. I'm going to put this right next to Doctor Strange. Both kind of serve similar purpose, and I might even think this is actually better than Strange's, depending on the situation. Hawkeye, I never miss, and it feels like most Hawkeyes don't miss. I also don't care when he does this, right? Again, kind of like Black Widow. I think it's better. I'm going to give it towards the top of D tier. Like, it's not like a good Hawkeye is going to kill me anyway, most likely. And so when he's doing this, it's not like I'm just like freaking out, like I must hide. You got to be a little bit more careful in the team fight, but no one's like rolling a 6 kill with this. And it's fine. It just kind of complements the rest of his kit. And I definitely, if you look at what he has to offer as a hero, this is probably like not something that sticks out like, oh yeah, Hawkeye's ultimate is cracked, because it's not. Oh god, I'm just pissed even thinking about this this ultimate. Goddess of Death. Hela's ultimate is, I would say, opposite of something like Hawkeye. When I hear this go off, like I'm ducking, running, freaking out, trying to find cover, or just begging to God that Doctor Strange knows how to float up and use his shield. You can counter it, you can all aim and fire it, but odds are, this stops everything happening, right? Like if there's a push going on, this happens, everything stops until this is done going. But also, she's going to get a lot of kills. Supports are easy to pick off. You're able to 2-tap most of them. You can see where they are too. Like, this is one of the best parts about Hela outside of, the rest of her kit. And I would say is an easy S tier ultimate. Okay, so the Mega Super Hulk. Listen, I know Hulk is trending right now. He's on the up and up. People are realizing to put some respect to his name. But also, and I'm not obviously talking about his main Hulk form, the bigger one, World Breaker. Not that big of a deal. I mean, you have to shoot him a little bit more. He does a lot. Like, I mean, when he's beating the hell out of somebody with the animation, it's hilarious and comical. But it doesn't do that much damage, and I just feel like it's kind of just an extension to his kit rather than an ultimate, kind of like Black Panther, and because of that, also going to put this in D tier. I've got a lot more in D than I thought. I don't even know if I could justify putting this in C, because there's nothing that jumps out to me. Unless you're a God Hulk, then I'm sure, this is really good. Iron Fist and the Living Chi. Now, guys, this might be a hot take, okay? I feel like this guy, Karate Kid, does a lot. He can really be a formidable foe. But for whatever reason, his ultimate is pretty lackluster compared to the other duelists in the game that can team wipe. Like, this is not one where everybody's running and ducking in cover like Hela that I just mentioned. I feel like it's not that great. Again, I'm going to put this in D tier because of the impact that I've seen it in games and how much it actually does. Maybe the sound of it is scary, and he as a hero just puts the fear of God in most people. But it as an ultimate isn't that great. Whereas the opposite effect for Iron Man, one of the best ultimates in the game, right? Like, you don't even have time to react to what's happening before you're dead. You can burst down everybody at once. The best part about it is you're able to instantly kill people in Luna and Mantis ult, which otherwise you can't do that in this game. You can surprise people. You can put it on a tank. There's so many ways to utilize this to just clutch a win. And as much as I want to put this not as one of the best, ults in the game, I think it is. I think it's right in that kind of Hela category. Anything that can team wipe and that you have very little time to reaction to has to be towards the top. Jeff the Baby Land Shark. Screw this Aqua Demon. Screw him. I mean, I've said it on a tweet. If this guy throws me off a map one more time, I'm uninstalling. I feel like the better you get, the worse this gets, because again, he's taking one of those strategist spots, right? So, there is that, and you kind of learn to avoid it better. But who am I kidding? This is an A tier kind of ult. I mean, this is one of those that can just take everybody from the point. Obviously it's not healing or doing anything for that regard for a strategist. Man, I hate this ultimate. Like, I hear that sound effect he makes when he does it, and I'm just like trying to assess as quick as possible. Do I have a Jeff on my team? Is it his? Is it ours? I don't even know. And then I end up getting swallowed and I'm dead. Loki, the ultimate that takes ultimates. Like, how do you even assess this? By giving it an S tier. I mean, typically This charges pretty fast because of the healing and damage that Loki can do. You can take other ultimates that feel like they take way longer to get, like Storm, or you can take Hela, or if you need to use a, support like Luna, you can take that too. Clearly, this is one of the best ultimates in the game because of that. So many situations where you want to use this and you get the agency to pick which one is best at the right time. One of the best in the game, probably the best in the game because you're able to do any of them. And the better ultimates that people are playing those heroes. So I got to say the best in the game goes to Loki. But if it's not him, it's definitely her. Luna Snow is just stupid. I mean, her freaking dance for 11 seconds is so long, man. Like I just said that a Groot stun for 3.5 seconds feels like an eternity. 11 seconds. I swear I can go down and make a hot meal, come back, and it's still going on. And it feels like she gets this all the freaking time. You can push with it. You can survive. You can use it offensively, defensively. One of the best in the game. Don't even have to think about it. S tier, next question. Magik. Oh, Magik. The Dark Child. Listen, I've talked to a lot of the pro players, and every single one agrees. This is one of the best in the game. It's an S tier. And I don't know if you disagree with that. And if you do, it's because you haven't played a good Magik. This is one of those team-wiping ultimates that, especially if their team follows the Magik in, like you might be going back to the Magik that went in by itself and used it. Okay, like I get it. Not that great. Dark Child can put out so much ridiculous damage without even trying. Just a portal and a spin. It takes out supports with no effort. So much damage you can output with this. It does take a little bit time to charge up, but this is one of the better ones in the game. I think this is going to be more of a hot take one for some people, but definitely one of the best. Oh, Magneto and his big ol' spirit bomb. It's pretty good. It's not bad. You can get some nice picks. He does charge it pretty quickly. You can absorb projectiles. You know, he's always hitting some rooftop or something and messing it up. But I'll say this is towards the end of B tier. I'm not going to say this is like a great ultimate. About middle of the pack feels about right. Where to place this one. You can get nice picks, do pretty good damage. Just getting that height advantage is huge, and you can obviously hover down, do more stuff from there. It's not like the best ultimate, and for a tank, I'd rather an ultimate that can set up, but it does do its job. Next up is Mantis, one of the best characters in the game, and you could pretty much copy a lot of what I just said about Luna. I think this is a little worse than Luna, but not by a whole lot. We are undefeatable. Again, feel like I hear this thing so much. I just killed her. She just used it, and it comes right back up again. And it's annoying. It does a lot of healing. It does overhealing. It's pretty obvious that this one and Luna are just the best two support ones because of the survivability they add to your team. We're seeing that in high elo, pro play, normal play. One of the best. The moon haunts you. Moon Knight. Why do I feel like this ability kind of sucks? When you team up with other people, it's great. It's one of the best. It can kill people through a Luna ult. But by itself, it's so easy to dodge, and if you have your team maybe push them into it, it can work. Usually you get maybe 1 pick, 2 picks, not 3 or 4, not often at least, unless you're setting it up with a Groot, Doctor Strange. And so I gotta say, like, C tier for Moon Knight. He's got a lot of great things about his kit. I would say his ult is not one of them. All right, next up is Namor, and I said he was a sleeper hero in the tier list that I did, and listen, sleeper ultimate. This thing does 500 damage in the center circle of it, and it does like a couple hundred, and then it also knocks people down. It's great. Moby Dick, the big whale, whaling out. Don't whiff the whale. It's a fantastic ability that you charge up quickly because of his turrets and just how much damage he can output. I think this is a good ultimate. I don't think it's insane. I would say it's the top of B tier. It feels very solid in that regard. I mean, yeah, I've had great whales done to me. I've done great whales. It's solid. Next, we have Peni Parker, and I'll be damned if this is not the ult that goes off the most in the match, too. I know I feel like I've said that a lot today. Trust me, this thing charges way too quickly. It's good. I think it's much better at lower elos and less good in higher elos, and you can melt her down pretty quickly. It feels like a C tier ult, even though I love it, and I have a lot of playtime in Peni, but in comparison to the other ones, like, man, you could just completely surround them and get a lot of kills, and so it makes me want to put it in B tier, but I feel like it's towards kind of the top of C. Like, it lines up with Moon Knight in some regard. You can counter it, you can get out of the way, but because of how fast it charges and how annoying it is, it's not bad. It's about top of C. Oh god, man. Psylocke, Just why? Just one of those ultimates that you know when it goes off, if you look around and there's no healer to help you out, you're dead. Congratulations, you've been picked to die from Psylocke and the circled ult of hell. It charges fast. It delivers huge damage to tanks, to supports. It can, she's pretty much invincible outside of like the very beginning of it. So hard to counter this ult. You could just take out supports with it. It is immensely strong. One of the best. Top of A. Not S, but right there towards the top. Rocket Raccoon. This is real firepower. But is it? I don't think so, man. This is one of the weakest parts of his kit. Not only is it something you deploy that can be shut down, it does do 40% extra damage, and that can add up. Not terrible. I don't think it's the worst ultimate. Like, I'm not going to give it an F tier because it does have a nice kind of snowball effect of your team being able to roll another team with so much damage, especially if used right. And it seems like it charges up pretty fast. You're not like having this ult and thinking to yourself, like, they're screwed. There's nothing they can do. So I do put it towards the weaker end, D tier. All right, now this ult is like one of the hardest ones to rank because what it does and versus like how it performs is vastly different. What it does, S tier. How it performs, not great. So like for me, the middle of the pack, my gut tells me go B tier. And I think it's going to look odd if I put this at the end of A tier, but I think I'm going to because we're talking about the ultimate. This is a tough call. I feel like the comments are going to go back and forth. As an ultimate, it's great, obviously. We're going to go with an A tier as a middle ground, even though I think B might be a bit better. It one-shots everybody, right? But the charge-up time and just how it works is not super likely. The Amazing Spider-Man, this good ability. Not like a team wiper, but definitely solid enough to take down supports, do what you need to do with it. You can escape it, right? You're able to counter it a little bit. I'm going to say probably top of B. Not quite A tier. Listen, Spidey-Mans, I love you. You guys are cracked. I would say, though, in comparison to the other ones around it, this is about top of B. It feels the right spot for what this does in the game. Squirrel Stampede. Garbage. It's just not good. You can avoid it. The squirrels are stupid as dirt, man. They never go the right way. They're bouncing off the wrong things. The damage isn't even that. Like, it just doesn't do anything great. And most of the time, you're just like better off using your primary than this in most instances. It's just not a good ult. This, I think, represents the F tier in Marvel Rivals. Listen, there are two people in my life that have made the word legendary mean something to me in a different way. Barney from How I Met Your Mother, shout out for you guys that know, and Star-Lord. This is one of the craziest. I mean, he flies. It's auto-aim. You're going to die. If you're in the sights and you're just begging to try to hit a project, like you're trying to kill him so bad, but he's going to kill you before you can kill him. One of the best, definitely S tier. Storm, Hurricane. One of the best parts about the character, if I'm being honest, right? Very solid. Ultimate, she gains massive shields. She does good disruptive damage. You can team wipe pretty well with it. I'm going to put it at the A tier because I feel like that's about where it lines up in what it offers. It's really good. It feels like it takes forever to charge up. And also, it takes a while to activate. But who you choose to rain your hell on as Storm is going to die, which is nice. And or you can put out a lot of damage on the tanks in a wide kind of area of damage. It's definitely good and not used enough because Storm is not played enough. The Punisher's guns. It's a good one. I mean, you can be shredded. Everybody. Tank. Doesn't matter who you are. You're going to die if you're in line of sight. But the problem is Punisher's pretty easy to kill, especially if he's focused. Obviously, supports can keep him up. And so, like, because he's grounded and it takes a second to charge up, it gives people time. Like, I want to put it in A, but I'm going to put it towards the top of B. It feels like a very strong ultimate, and it can do some crazy things, and it has a huge kind of high end, but the low end's also underwhelming. So high B feels right. All right, we've got Thor up next, and I'm going to be honest. Thor's ult is pretty underwhelming for the freaking God of Thunder, right? Like, he goes up. You can definitely die by it. It's often used kind of like Black Panthers, like it's being used in a fight that he's already doing. You can set it up and do decent damage with it and get a couple kills. You're not going to team wipe almost ever with this thing. The damage is fine. It just takes a while. Something's missing about this ult, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm alone. It's about a C tier. I feel like it's definitely not middle of the pack, below average, but it's not worthless. All right, next up is Venom, and I hate to say this, guys, but I feel like this ult is kind of worthless trash. Like, when this happens to me, I'm like, all right, let's keep it moving, team. Like, we're all alive. We've lost like 10 health. Let's keep going. It just is not impactful, in my opinion. It's cool. It looks great. But it just, there's nothing to really say about it, of it standing out much. And so, unfortunately, Venom, I'm going to put this in F tier. Armed and dangerous. You hear it in your dreams. You definitely hear it when you play in the game way too much. I want the comments to fill up with again, over and over. This is probably the best snowball ultimate in the game, right? There are some things that can mess it up if your team gets the pick before you can, land down. If they're too spread out, if you don't get the kill. But if you do, and it's the right timing, this is it. He is him. This is such a good ult. I'm going to put it at the top of A, right? Because like Iron Man, click button, they die. This, there's some more to it, but it can snowball for a full team wipe and is kind of the perfect representation for top of A. And then we end on Wolverine, who people have felt have been a little bit disrespected of him being an F tier. A lot of tier lists, right? I'm sorry. His ult is also going in F tier. It does something. It's okay, right? Like, it does a lot of damage, burst. But when you're looking at how impactful it is, it's just not it, right? Like, it's not something that we're like, okay, everybody, I think Wolverine's ult's on cooldown. Nobody's saying that, right? So definitely towards the bottom, unfortunately, for Wolverine. Alrighty, guys, so that's going to be it. This is our entire tier list of all the ultimates in the game and what I think about them and how I would rank them. Want to say a quick hello to you guys that skipped to this part of the video. And let me know, do you guys agree? Who did I grossly misrank? Who do you think should be way up, way down? Would love to see it down in the comments. And again, guys, 90% of you guys watching have not subscribed. Helps grow this channel, makes it bigger, and allows me to do more videos, and it shows me you like it. So anyway, guys, good luck out there. Have a good one. Have a great one. Till the next one. Happy rifling.